Today we are back with the second episode, and in this episode we will share our personal stories and talk about some personal questions and the process of how we got here to France and how we found these projects. How did you hear about the EVS?
For example, for me, I heard about EVS from a friend while I was still in high school, and I don't know. He was planning to do some volunteering, and I didn't know what I want to do after graduating high school. So he encouraged me to contact some people, sending organizations. And after high school, I did my first EVS. It was short term in Slovenia, and then after that, I already knew the whole process. So that's how I came to be here in France, and it was better for me because I already knew what to expect and how the whole papers works and everything. So yeah, but I knew it from a friend. But I don't know where he got the information from himself, but I was the only one from my friend group who knew about this, and everyone was like, is that what? Where are you going? What are you doing? And yeah.
So technically you did a short-term project before doing the long-term.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's interesting.
What about you guys?
So about me, I was sure that I didn't want to study right after doing my A-levels in high school. So I started looking up some information about different volunteering programs. So that's where I found my sending organization. And actually, that's when I first discovered ESC. Later, I had some friends who also did it, and then it was easier for me to had real contact with it, because it sounds really all the information you get is really formal, and you read the internet sites and everything, and it's really, you don't have a video or anything of it.
Yeah, for me, I was in the same situation as you in the last year of high school, and also I was sure I don't want to study right away, also because of COVID. And so I was also searching for some volunteer project, and first I discovered some German, French volunteering project, and I applied for that. But I wasn't accepted or rejected for both projects I applied to. And the last one, the lady was really nice, because in her mail where she rejected me, she also wrote, "Hey, do you know ECS? No, ESC. You can look up there. I'm sure there are still some volunteering projects left." I was like, "Oh no, I didn't know about that." And so I started researching on their official page. So I went on the page, I created an account, started searching for projects.
It's interesting. I don't know, I would be interested to ask a lot of more volunteers how they got the information from, because whenever we go to schools and present volunteering, no one knows what it is. Everyone knows Erasmus, right? But no one knows European Solidarity Corps, and they're
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting, but pretty sad that neither of us had this information from school or in an organized way. It's just by accident that we found it out.
But for the future, if we ever come back to our countries, we can be the ambassadors and
Maybe then we get some sponsors.
So our second question topic is that why did we decide to do it? Our motivation.
For me, it was I finished high school, and then I didn't know what to do with my life, and I decided to take a year off, and I did some other projects in other countries, and then I got to know the volunteering service program, and then I went for 2 months, and then I came back and everything was okay, and I decided, now I will study. I took a year off, now I'm set to study, everything is okay. I started studying and I realized, nope, this is not working, it's not for me. And I think to make a decision to end my studies after 1 year was easier, because I already knew that I could take 1 year off with this program and be sure that I will get a nice experience out of it. So I think I knew pretty early on that I didn't want to study the program that I was in anymore, and I knew that this could be a good choice for me to do this long-term volunteering. And somehow France came in just completely by random. I don't know how I decided that I want to go to France, but it was like one day I woke up and I was like, France, that's it, I want to go there. And my mind was set, and I sent my CV. Like the first CV that I sent was to this project, and this is the project that I got. So it was like very quick, very efficient, and I think just fate or something.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. What about you guys?
For me, as I already told, I was in the last year of high school. I had all this stress with studying for my A levels, which was really exhausting. And so the idea of like directly continue to study, and I mean university, I imagine it's so much harder than school. And really I was so not motivated to do it. And then I think it's also because my parents really encouraged me that way. Hey, you have now this opportunity to take 1 year off, because 1 year doesn't matter, and really go explore the world. And I was also thinking, for this motivation to get more autonomous, like getting this first work experience, and at the same time also go abroad, because I really liked France. I already did some exchanges, or 2 exchanges in France, and I really loved exploring their culture, their country, the way the French people are, and I had so much fun, like all these exchange.
Where did you do it? In Paris?
In Paris. So I only knew Paris. It was already amazing, but I thought, France is so much more than Paris. I want to see more. And so I applied into jobs in whole France. Now that I look back, it would have been also nice to apply to other countries, I guess. But already to go here is already amazing. And so, my motivation is kind of a mixture of different things. Like, do this non-formal education we have here. Also look a bit in the social sector, I would say, because that's not really where I want to go with my studies after. Because those projects here are all Volutary projects. And so I thought, why not do something good with this year I have. And of course language was a big motivation, I think. I already studied French a lot, and I think I had some nice level before, but really speaking it, learning from the French people face to face, it's just so different. And I guess that's it.
My motivation kinda came from my studies. As I said, I was studying in Ireland. I was doing my bachelor degree there during 3 years, and I was supposed to go on Erasmus, but then I already had everything organized. I was supposed to go to Aix-en-Provence in the south of France for a year, and then the pandemic started, so my Erasmus was cancelled. And I was very disappointed, but I decided that, okay, after I finish my studies, I will go to France at all costs. Like, no one is stopping me, I'm going there. So for me, it was obvious that I want to do this project in France. And the motivation behind it was that I was learning French for many years by that point. I was doing languages and cultures at university, like French and Italian. And when you hear about a country and the culture and you are learning the language for many years, I think it's just natural that you want to go there and see in real life how things look like and what is everyday life is like in that country. So my biggest motivation was to just come to France, experience life here, and obviously improve my French.
But have you been in France before?
Yes, I've been to France like for a week during high school. It was like a school trip in the south of France, but that was a very different experience. Like that was more like a tourist experience. Like we visited touristic attractions.
Yeah, we did the same in high school, and we went to Paris, and like, of course, we had to visit all of the museums. And after that, I didn't like Paris because we were like, you know, Paris is only museums and like this stuff, and I'm like, no, that's not for me. And then when I came back there, just to be there, you know, just to walk around freely, not really being in a rush, I'm like, okay, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice city. So yeah.
Yeah, I think with school you always see more the surface, the touristic spots. That was also the thing with my exchanges. But then really to live your daily life in the other country, it's such an amazing experience and so much different than only the touristic spots.
Yeah, I think that makes a difference. Like if I would only stay 2 weeks in France, I would like do all the touristic things I could do. Like, but now I'm like, the last time I was in Paris, I think I've just been to every park there. I didn't visit anything touristic.
Yeah. So Sophia, your story.
Okay, about my motivation, I've already told that I was in high school, but actually it was 2 years ago when I finished high school, and I always knew that I wanted to like go abroad afterwards because I didn't do any exchanges or anything, and also I have like family abroad, so the whole traveling thing was always there, and always these international, intercultural experiences are so interesting, and they were always so interesting for me. So that was like the first thought of going abroad, but I actually didn't want to go to any part in Europe. I actually wanted to go to South America, and I had everything planned and everything organized, but then the pandemic started, as I think it's like similar to Anna's story, and I couldn't go. So for 1 year, basically everything was off. I took a year off and did some working in Germany, and then I still decided that I didn't want to study for another year, because then it was still all online, and I didn't know what to study, and I thought, yeah, I'm 18, I can still go abroad, and I want to try South America again, but they didn't open yet, like for anyone, and so I started looking for countries where I knew the language, because this was like my goal, like either to improve my French, my English, or my Spanish. So my English wasn't that important because, yeah, I don't know, I can just practice this in Germany, I think. And then I was like, okay, English or Spanish, and then I looked up the projects, and there was so many in France, so I just started applying, and yeah, that's basically it, I think.
So do you regret it or not that you didn't get to go to South America?
I wouldn't say I regret it. I mean, I've been there already because, like I said, I have family there. I mean, that also, like, I'm a little sad that I can't like live there for a long time, or I can still do this afterwards, like sometime in my life. But I think it's pretty nice that I'm in France. I'm so thankful that I'm here, like with the whole ESC program, with all the volunteers, like all the connections you make here, and my French has improved a lot. And yeah, I really like it.
Nice. So what about the application process? Like, how did it happen? How did you find your project? Where did you find it? Who wants to start? Anna?
Okay, I can go first. So I'm a person who likes planning. Like, I need to go, need to know where I'm going, when I'm going there, and what am I gonna do there. So I was a bit early to start looking for projects. Actually, I started my project in October 2021, so like 7 months ago, but I started to look for this project around March, which is absolutely absolutely not the way you should do it. Like, it's not necessary to start that early, but I was literally addicted to the website. I was checking it every single day, looking for new projects.
But did you even find anything in March?
Like for October, no, but like I wanted to start in September, so yeah, like it was still a bit early in March to look for projects in September. But I just wanted to see what are the options out there. So I went to the website and I checked it every single day, and I saved the projects that I liked. For a few weeks I just did that, and actually when I started to send out like emails and applications, that was towards the end of May, and the whole process took place during summer. And I was a bit naive, to be honest, because I applied for the first project that I liked in Le Mans, and I was so convinced that I had to send a video, CV, maybe a motivation letter, and I was so convinced that I did a great job and I would get that. Then after I just relaxed, and actually they never even got back to me. So yeah, like reality just hit me in the face in that moment, and I realized that I really have to start applying to more projects and take it a bit more seriously. So that's what I did. And in the end, I got an interview at the end of July with my current organization. We had I don't know, 30 minutes call, and like after the call, like 2 hours later, they got back to me that they want to work with me. So
immediately like that?
yeah, like two hours later, because it was the end of the week and they had previous calls with other volunteers before. And I was the last one they talked with, and they knew that they wanted to work with me.
That's a good
Wow.
feeling.
Yeah, but like it was not as easy. Like before that, I had other calls with other organizations, and they were not interested in working with me. So like I feel like you have to stay motivated and not give up. So yeah, I got my project at the end of July, and I started in October. So that's my story.
If you want, I can continue, but be prepared. It's long. It's complicated. Because to sum it up, it was an odyssey. I don't know if you know this expression.
I think it's a German.
It was long and a little bit horrible. So,
Horrible.
Yeah, okay, I will come to that. Because I started applying for this other volunteering project already in December, or I started writing my applications there. And then through this whole process, I got this, I was rejected, I guess, in June. And so I was really disappointed, of course. I had, like you, Anna, so many hopes. Oh, I will get it, of course. They will take care of me and put me in some project, it's sure. And so I was really disappointed, because at that point I knew, okay, they don't have any other projects left. What am I gonna do? And so I was really glad that this they gave me this advice to look on ECS. And so I already felt really stressed. Oh my god, it's already June. I'm so late. I won't find anything anymore. And so I got on the page and saw, oh my god, there are so many projects. Amazing. Like, I think in France it was 100 projects or something. But then I started selecting like the period of time, where exactly. I read so many descriptions, really. And of course not everything fit, because for some projects required driving license, certain language level. And so I selected the ones I liked. I wrote so many applications really in the end. I think it was 20 applications.
Oh,
And the
that's
fucked
a lot.
up thing, sorry for the expression, was that basically no one responded.
Yeah.
Really, I was waiting for answers so long. I got so annoyed. And then some of them answered, I guess, to say, hey, yeah, we are kind of interested. Or, I don't know. I think in the end it was me calling them hey, why don't you respond to me, please? What is going on? And I think I went into this application process with this naive vision that nobody knows it, nobody's applying. But in the end, I think some projects really had 100 applications or something, like really a lot. So that's maybe why they didn't answer it, and I was so frustrated, like, why can't you even tell me, hey, we're full? And then I called some organization also here in Brittany, asking them if they still take a volunteer, and then they told me no, not this year. And I was like, okay, why do you have your project description here? But okay, so he gave me the advice to call another project where the deadline was already up. And so I called them, which is my current organization. Hey, do you still take volunteers? He was like, yeah, sure. Send me your application. And then that was also a little drama because I didn't get the mail correct, so I sent it to the wrong mail. And I was wondering, why aren't they answering? What is going on? And so I called again or wrote the official name. Whatever. So I had then an interview also a little bit after because my tutor was in holidays, and I was in holidays, and it was also more countryside, so really bad internet. So in the end I went to a park, used the opened Wi-Fi to do this call, and I didn't get a word of him of what he said because the quality was so bad. And so he asked some questions, and I tried to answer to that what I understood as a question, and he was like, do you have questions? So in my opinion it was a really shitty interview. But then somehow it was okay, and then I think after 2 weeks they said, hey, we accept you. And I was like, oh my god. But then when I got the answer, all the other organizations started answering me, and I was like, no way, are you kidding me? But I was so stressed because it was already August, September, and this project was starting in October, so I was like, okay, fuck this, I'm gonna take that project.
But were the answers that you got after positive from the other organizations?
Yeah, they asked for interviews.
Oh, okay, but so it was not like you can come.
No, that was that they answered and asked for interviews, and I was thinking about doing that, but then I couldn't be sure that they would also take me, so I decided to take this one, be sure. And yeah, finally I got it. And in the end I was so dead. I was so exhausted, really.
Yeah, that's nice.
But I'm here. I got it. I managed to do it. And I hope I didn't scare anybody off. That's not.
I mean, you
how
set realistic expectations.
Goes.
That's only fair.
I mean, you called them.
I think that's the biggest advice I can give you.
Yeah.
Call them. Because mails, I don't know if it's a French thing, but
they don't get answered. Like,
yes.
Don't write mails to anyone.
But actually, for example, I don't know if you applied through the website. Because if you apply through the website, just like when you press the apply or whatever,
they don't answer.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So usually you have to send it by mail, like personally, and then they take.
If they give you some mail address.
If they give you,
because some projects on the website, they don't have like they just have like the official apply button on the ESC website, and there I think you cannot receive I didn't receive an answer. I think.
Yeah.
There.
I think of none of them I got an answer. Like these short messages.
Yeah, I think the short messages they didn't contact me.
Yeah.
I'm not that sure.
So Sophia,
Okay. So for me it was not that complicated as one I think. When I finally decided to do like the ESC program, I think it was already like May, June, because I was like, should I study? Can I allow myself to take another year off? So I started applying for like university and ESC actually, because I knew from my sending organization that the ESC program is kind of hard to get into if there's a lot of people applying. I also apply to some other project, like some other project in the UK, but I don't remember. And actually, I think I started applying through the website. Like I had the website, I started looking at everything. I don't know. I started like analyzing every project I was interested in, and I think I analyzed it too much because then I just wrote them, and like through the website I think nobody answered me. But then like this one project which I'm in right now, they had an email address, so I sent my things there and they answered me pretty quickly and asked for an interview. Then I had this interview, I think, but then 2 days later I had another interview. So when I had my interview, it was horrible because it was in French, so I came prepared. I had like my vocabulary on the side, but I could obviously not like type some things in my phone because I was like in a video call. So my internet was so horrible. I think we switched from Skype to Instagram to WhatsApp and then back to Skype, and then in the end we just wrote on Skype. So the interview was kind of, I thought, oh my god, then never gonna take it because it was so horrible. Plus the questions were like, okay, did you really check the website? Like they really asked me some questions which I could only answer if I really understood the whole description of the project, and I was not prepared to answer them in French. So my interview was really bad, and then like the next day, I think it was the next day or like within 2 days, they answered me that they accept me, and I was so shocked because in my opinion, my interview, I didn't understand anything because of the internet, because of everything. I was just like, yeah, okay, but okay. But then I still wanted to wait a little because I had my other interview and I didn't know how that was going, and then so I asked them because they were like, oh yeah, we accept you, and I was like, okay, but can I wait? And I felt really bad because they were like, yeah, you can wait, but how long do you want to wait? And I was like, a month maybe.
Not like 2 days, a week, a month.
Because I wanted to ask them to wait for a month, and I was like, yeah, can I do this? And they were like, yeah, okay, but you have to answer till this date. I think it was like 2 weeks because afterwards everyone was on vacation. So I actually answered them positive. Like I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna go. I was really like, I don't know if I want to do this. I had like so many doubts in my head because I also didn't have like the response of the other project, so I still wanted to like look if they accept me or not or anything. So I was really like doubting if I should go, but then I accepted, and then everything was really quickly because I think it was already end of August and my project started in the 1st of October. So I think, but that was it.
Nice.
So what about you?
For me, my life was so dramatic at the time. Like, I was living in the capital. I rented a room in this beautiful house with a lot of people, and but the whole studies thing, the whole summer, I was questioning whether I should drop, whatever I should do, and like in the back of my mind, I always knew that I had a backup plan, that I could go with this volunteering, but I wasn't really sure till the last minute that that's what I actually want to do. And then like August 20th, I remember that was the deadline for me to move out of my apartment, and it was a whole sob party because no one really wanted to move out. We all got so close, and the last night we all sat together, and I was writing the motivational letter and the CV, everything, and the last night we were in the apartment, I sent it to my mentor, and then I didn't know where, because I didn't have a place where to move out, so I was like, okay, I don't know where to move out, I don't have a new place, so I'm just gonna hope that I can go to France in a month and live there, because like I didn't want to rent another apartment. So the last day I was like calling my friend, hey, can I crash at your place for a month? and I ended up living in my friend's place. And throughout the whole thing, I was like, okay, it's just gonna be a month. I was so sure that it's gonna take me a month to get to France. Like, I was convinced. And then I remember it was September 1st. I was out because the day that I sent the papers for quitting the university, I think that was the day where I got the answer from a mentor that can we do a video call? And I was like, okay, this is getting a fate kind of like scenario. And I was like, sure, perfect. I did the video call, and then September 1st, I was out with my ex-college classmates. And I was standing in a line for a drink, and I got the email in the evening around 9 o'clock that you got in. And I swear to God, like that whole moment, I was started shaking. I could not believe that it actually came true, that I manifested this whole thing to the point. And like everything fell so much into place. Like, this was the first project that I applied for. I found the poster on Facebook in a Facebook volunteering group, and I was like, sure, why not? Dina, it's a nice city, let's go. And like everything fell into place, and I was sure that I would go to France at the end of September, and my project started. I went to France on September 31st. So like everything came somehow that I would end up here, and I still cannot believe how it happened. But I truly believe that I manifested it somehow. I don't know, but yeah, it's
Some higher power took care of
some
it.
higher power.
But isn't it September 31st?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a whole emotional experience, and now that I remember it, everything that I went through, all of the coincidences and everything. I remember I think before I even sent applications, there was, I started getting all of the signs that, I started meeting a lot of French people in the capital. Like, they started speaking French to me. I'm like, okay, this is interesting, because I don't usually meet French people in Lithuania. Yeah, and then I started seeing like French flags everywhere, and there was this one poster with like some French classes or whatever, and I took a picture like this near the poster. I still have the picture, and I was like, you'll see in a month I will be doing the same in France. And it turned out to be true.
Such an amazing story, really.
Yeah.
So guys, if you see signs in your home, follow that path. It works.
Always follow the signs. Yes.
And never give up.
And
Yeah.
call people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, as conclusion, for this part of the discussion, like, can we say for how many projects we applied? So, Linda said you applied
20.
around 20. Sophia?
I think less, but maybe like 10-ish.
10-ish.
Like with the website as well, because yeah.
Julia?
Me, I applied to 2. And I got answer from both of them, but the first one I applied to is the one that I already have right now, and the second one I got like a week later, I think. But yeah, 2.
2, okay. And for me it was around 5. So...
Yeah, it varies. Depends also what you have to send there, because like on the website you just send like 300 words, I think.
Yes.
But then there are like the where you send a CV and a motivational letter. You said you send a video.
Yeah, for one of them they asked for a video.
Wow.
Nice. What did you have to do in the video? Like talk about yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then when did you start applying? As I said, like me, 6 months before. Like that's a bit too much. Like
Me, like
1 month.
2 months maximum. Yeah.
Okay.
For me it was like June, I think. June until July, and then I got the like August, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah, I
then,
think for me it was also from the middle of June.
okay. So like conclusions here is that go for it, don't give up, hold them if you need to, even go there if you need to.
Yeah.
The easy abroad.
And if you really want to do this, in the end you will.
Yes.
You'll find a solution, like
Yeah. like there's so many projects to choose from
Yeah.
that like you found 20 projects, but still out of those 20 you get to like have one. So I think there is really one way or the other you will find something.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask because I don't know, did you really apply like only for the project? Because I prefer to apply for the country and take like the project not that seriously.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I was like, but I want to go to France. So I obviously didn't apply to anything I definitely didn't want to do. Basically, like for example, I didn't want to go to school, so I didn't apply there. But still, I applied for some project which I wasn't like 100% sure. But I still wanted to go to France because I knew like, okay, I worked 30 to 38 hours. That's not my whole life.
Yeah, yeah. Same. I chose a country, and I saw a project. There was a city. I saw the cities near the ocean. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, I
I
also
didn't-
googled
Yeah,
the city,
yeah, same.
and I was really skeptical because in my city there are only 20,000 people. So I was like,
That's small.
but then I saw there's a university, so I was like, okay, it's fine. There's not only old people living there.
Yeah, researching really helps because for my project I'm in right now, I also looked on Google. Oh my god, this is so small. Like the village, Canton, where I work, they don't even have 3,000 inhabitants. And me coming from a bigger city, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be hard.
Okay.
But I also saw, okay, Britannia, Brittany.
The city.
And then sea is not so far. There's a bigger city nearby. There are buses, which is not safe for every village here.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, somehow I will manage. And yeah.
I think like also it's kind of a conclusion that I'm realizing now that in smaller places it's easier to get accepted than
Yeah.
in bigger cities, and if you really can't manage to find something, like go for the small town voluntary projects because you have more chance there.
Yeah, and also really look into the description because I already had doubts, like living alone in this small village. I'm not sure because last year when I got here, I was only 18. Like now I'm 19, which is no big difference. But I was really young, coming from home, like the safe space, and having my family around 24/7. So for me, it was a big change. And that's just a little advice, like really be sure if that fits you, if you can handle living alone. For me, in the end, I discovered no, I can't. And I think, well, in general, living with other volunteers together makes this experience so much more rich.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So, yes. Let's move on to our projects. What do we do exactly? Because we never mentioned that.
So, as I mentioned before, I don't know if I mentioned I work in a MJC, which is typically French. For all those who know French, if you translate it, it's Maison de la Culture et de la Jeunesse, which means basically it's some youth center, but also meant for the cultural events in this area. And as I discovered, it's also really common for the countryside. And so the MJC offers the sport, their social events, you can learn their languages, a lot of animation for the children and youngsters, all kind of different projects you can do there. So it's basically a center where people come together. And me, I work in the sector of the youth work. So I have a colleague who is animatrice, so youth worker, I guess, and also a younger colleague who's right now in the process to become that. So I have two colleagues, and together 2 times a week in the evening we go to a school there in the village because there are some boarding school kids, and before they eat, we do some animation with them. Right now, for example, we go out, play some games, like just a little fun time. Then Wednesday afternoon, all the kids leave from school because in France they don't have school Wednesday afternoon. So we also offer animation. Yeah, really all different kinds of things. Normally we plan in advance what we can offer them. Also Saturday afternoon they can come to the MJC and we do some trips, for example. Also animation. We're just there playing with the kids, and the MJC also really pays attention to listen to their citizens, what they want to do, also what the youngsters offer, what they really want to do. So we try to respond to that. And the biggest thing we do, I would say, are the holidays. Really, that's the biggest event for the youth in the MJC, where we offer the whole day events. Like we go to laser tag, we go to the beach, we play fun games. It's really an amazing time, and they can decide what activity they want to do, which not. And so my work is the whole planning and organizing, also the advertisement. For example, I really like to create the posters we hung up everywhere and also publish on social media, and then decide what we want to do, what we can offer, also organize these whole holidays because they require really a lot of planning. And then in the end also do the animation, of course. Be there for the kids, play with them.
So how old are the people you work with?
So usually from 11 to 14 years old, but you can come to our animations up to 17 years old. So in the last holidays it was really this whole variety of ages from 11 to 17 years old.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's not as easy as I imagined because I really like kids, I would say, but also small kids because they're sometimes easier to handle. Also, as I discovered here in France, they of course have a lower language level, so it's easier for me to communicate with them. But yeah, it's interesting to work with these different kind of ages.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead because my work is also like with young people. I work in a youth service. I have 3 colleagues and another volunteer, and some people who volunteer here in France, and they are, I think, employed by the city, so technically I am too, I think. So it's not that much like Linda's work because it's more of an administrative task, but we also have a youth center, which I sometimes attend. But so technically we are like planning events and we're doing projects with young people. I think our age frame is like 15 to 25, so a little bit older than Linda's work. And basically we do like different kind of projects. For example, we had a project also in the holidays where like the young people in the city, they could earn some money by working on a cemetery.
In cemetery.
Cemetery.
Cemetery?
Yeah, like the gardening. They did like the gardening there.
In a cemetery.
Yeah. But like this project I really liked because it was like out and we just like did the gardening, and then in the end of the day the kids, they just got like their pocket money and they were really happy because they got their pocket money, and we just went with them, talked to them and everything. A project like this, or like right now we're kind of in an international European project because we're doing 3 events with some young people in Lannion and another town, and we're actually going to the parliament in Strasbourg, like the European Parliament for the third day or like weekend basically. And that's really cool, like to see that like associations like this, they have a budget for things like this. So like everyone who wants to come like until to Strasbourg is like 12 hours by bus. Then we go there, then we have food, blah blah, and everyone just paid like $20 I think to come with, and that's really nice I think. And yeah.
Okay, so my project, I work in a youth housing center, FGT, like all of these French names, FGT. Foyer Jeune Travail. And I work with young people, and so this organization, the main organization, like its task is to house youth. Yeah, and they also hold a lot of activities inside the organization. So we participate in those activities, and also there's a bar, so we tend the bar, and we do basically like we run around circles, whatever our tutor needs help with in the organization we do. So for example, I don't know, some hanging some pictures, like creating an exhibition or something, we do it. Or for example, every Friday we have this cooking activity with one of the animatrices, and we cook food and then we give it to the young people for them to take for free, because it's nice. Besides that, we have personal projects, and we have a lot of like trips to schools promoting volunteering, talking about the service that we're doing, and just a lot of stuff goes into the whole volunteering thing. Like, the main task is to be a part of the organization, but there is always some
space for personal
personal projects and everything. So mainly it's working with young people, attending animations, creating animations, but there is also a lot of other things that you can do, and basically whatever we would want to do, we could do as our personal project, and they would give us the time and everything. So yeah.
Nice. Actually, I work in a FGT too, so my project is quite similar to Julia's project, because I have to organize animations for these young people as well, who live in the residency. They are aged between 18 and 30 normally, and one thing that I really like is that they come from very different backgrounds. So these places are there for people who are not necessarily French, but maybe immigrants, or like are here to study, so like international students. And it's pretty great because there are so many cultures that you can meet and explore in this context. And connected to this, we organize a lot of cultural events, but still like fun kind of things, like cultural themed dinner parties, where once I come from Hungary, so like I had to make a Hungarian dinner, and then people just came and we ate some Hungarian food, and they get to know my culture a bit more, and we do that with other cultures as well. There are also concerts or like day trips. For example, right now my job is to organize a weekend trip to Paris, and then actually we will go there in June for like a weekend, and technically that counts as work for me. So like
same with the Strasbourg thing.
Yes. So I'm traveling to Paris and I call it work. I'm pretty lucky. Other than this, I work in a cafeteria where I tend to the bar and I serve coffee and I chat with the people who pass by. Like these people can be from like in any sector or like any age. Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
So I think we all work on like similar things. Yeah, but like technically there's no limit to the projects. I saw so many like ecological or
with the ecological ones, there's so
yeah.
many.
Yeah, or like participation of democracy. There are like also some political projects and everything. So
they are also interesting.
So how do you feel in general about your about this whole ESC ESC program, and how do you rate it? Who wants to start? Anna?
Okay, I want to start. Actually, I really like this project, and I'm really happy to be here in France. Like, really, from the first day and the first moment that I arrived, I was waiting for a very long time to be able to live in this country. So, like, every day I just wake up and I'm grateful that I'm here. Obviously, there are days that are more difficult, but still, like, all in all, I have a great experience and I like it very much. What about you?
For me, same. Like, I was prepared by my setting organization that, oh, you're gonna have these and these kind of moods and not be afraid of them. And I was kind of waiting to have that bad trip,
Yes.
as they say. But it never happened. It never came. And with the whole project, we have so much flexibility, and since we can do, like, we have so much freedom, we can travel, we can do our own projects, we can do whatever we want. I think this is so freeing, and that you're not really suffocated in your job. And I don't know, I really like it. I think I chose the right one, and this whole integration into French culture, French community, it's been really nice. And so far, I didn't have a bad experience here throughout the 7-8 months.
Yeah, I really like the whole European Solidarity Course program because, like, I mean, we all knew that we're gonna live like 9 months abroad and everything, but it's like really cool because, like, now, like, I really have like an everyday life, and I have like my friends, like my French friends, wow, like, and like international people you meet and everything. So it's like really nice, and like also with the work, everyone's so nice, and it's just like, so there's no like really bad part. It's like, oh, we're just going there, and then I'm going to this city, and I'm traveling there, and yeah, and then I'm going back to, then you have to go back, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. I will be honest. For me also, this whole thing it's amazing, really. I would never imagine to meet so many people, to have this whole experience. But I will be honest, there are also hard moments, I guess, for everyone,
Yeah.
of course. And in general, I also really like my work because I don't know, it's really so different also from what I want to do in the future, and just such an interesting side of work, of life. But then sometimes there are days I have nothing to do. I feel a little bit helpless also if the communication doesn't work as well as I would like it to be with the kids, for example. And then there are these amazing holidays where we do so much, but where I'm so tired afterwards because I think I work a lot. But yeah, I would say in general it's really positive. I'm not sure if I regret this specific project because in the end I don't know how the others would have been, and yeah, it also depends on how you see it, how you handle problems.
Yeah, that's another thing. How, like, your perspective on these ups and downs.
Yeah. And there you also really have to be a little
And
bit
also-
strict of yourself to get you out of this hole of motivation.
And also you can just try out like some kind of work, and then afterwards you can decide, okay, that's totally what I want to do, or that's not at all what I wanted to do, so I'm going in a different direction. But it's really cool to just have like the option to like try it out, and afterwards you can say nope,
Yeah.
or you say, well, that's totally my thing.
Yeah. Especially since they provide you with so many possibilities to try such a variety of things out. That, like you said, you can really choose from. It's not just only one task that you
Yeah.
have to do 24/7 and that's it. But you really have a wide spread of things that you can be involved in.
Yeah, and what I discovered is that it's the events, these special moments who make it so great. Because not everything can be good constantly, and that's normal, that
Yeah.
it counts for the whole life. So for me now, when I look back, when I look through all the photos I took, oh my god, there I was on the seminar, I had such a great time there. I was in Paris with you, for example. And wow, in the end I experienced so many different things. I had so much fun.
What a wholesome ending.
Yes, thank you for listening. And in the next episodes, we will return with some guests. So if you are interested in other people's stories and experiences as well, who are volunteers here in the region, then stay tuned.
Thank you, and see you next time.
Bye.
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 Bye.